Hey guys, here we are at fourth part of the story. Weakened to their breaking point, the allied shinobi forces have little chance of survival. The Jubi had fired a colossal Bijudama in their direction. The former Hokage are too busy trying to save them to focus on Kurama and the rest of the Biju's final plan of action. We will see as Naruto and Sakura go back in time to prevent disaster. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe button. Now, let's jump right in. Kakashi and Sasuke were sitting on the porch of Naruto's house looking at the koi pond while waiting for their blonde-haired teammate to get ready for the party the Fire Daimyo and the Hokage were jointly hosting. Sakura had already entered the house to make sure that Naruto did not try to wear something inappropriate. Sasuke was wearing a formal navy kimono with the Uchiha crest proudly displayed on his back. Around the kimono sleeves, embroideries of golden flames were glowing in the fading light of the sun. Beside him, Kakashi was wearing a formal variant of his ninja uniform. Over the uniform, he wore a grey haori with the Hokage clan crest embroidered on the back. "Kakashi, may I ask you a question?" Sasuke asked with curiosity. Kakashi stared at his student with his single eye before nodding. "Sure thing, Sasuke, what do you want to know? Did all of you really give it your all, or was it planned to show Naruto as one of the most powerful shinobi of the village?" Kakashi hummed of a few moments before saying, "Kurenai, Anko, Nico, and Tora underestimated him, so was unable to fully showcase their abilities against him, with Tora showing about 70% of their abilities. Only guy and I gave it our all, well our all that would not have ended up with us dead in the end. Even then, Naruto easily defeated us with ease. I will bet my Icha collection that we did not even phase him. In fact, I doubt that Naruto even showed a quarter of his true abilities. Then there was his speed. It reminded me of Minato-sensei and his Hiraishin, just but without the seals. I cannot even fathom how much more powerful he will become by the time the Chunin exams come by in 6 months. I see. He really is at a level that is unreachable by most shinobi, isn't he?" Sasuke stated with sadness. "My summons has said that even in the summons world, he is an interesting subject. From what Pakun said, Gamamaru-sama, the Ogama Sennin said, Naruto is more talented than the Rikudo Sennin was and he is progressing at a level that makes us prodigies look like toddlers. From what I can see, Naruto learns by doing something, not by reading about it like us. Then again, it may have been a ruse to hide his abilities. Remember this, Sasuke, while Naruto's strength seems unattainable and to a certain degree, it is, but he reached this height by himself, just as Sakura has. You and I have a lot of hard work to be able to keep up with them. If we do this right, our team may become the next standard for teams just as the Inoshikacho formation and the Sannin were before Orochimaru betrayed us. I understand what you mean, Kakashi. We should not ignore any advice Naruto gives us. Without even trying, he helped me activate the Sharingan in a single training session, then helping me master the tree walking exercise and the water walking exercise in the minimum amount of time. If this keeps up long enough we may have to start calling him Naruto-sensei, Sasuke said with a small chuckle causing Kakashi to look at the former Avenger in shock. Before Kakashi could say anything, the duo heard the sound of a shoji door sliding open. They turned around and saw Sakura walking out in her crimson-red kimono with Sakura petal embroidery done in silver thread. A simple hair clip made of blue crystal held her bangs away from her face. Surprisingly, unlike they expected, Sakura had only minor makeup applied to her face. Her lips painted a pale pink. Following her was Naruto wearing the white kimono he wore when his heritage was revealed. "Shouldn't you wear something else, Naruto? In high society, wearing the same formal clothes does not look good," Kakashi said, getting a surprised look from Sasuke. "First, sensei, I was an orphan with no one to teach me that. Second, I do not have any other formal clothing that will fit me. Finally, this was commissioned by my mother, so it has some sentimental value added to it," Naruto stated in matter-of-fact tone, causing Kakashi to nod in realization. "What do you mean you don't have any other formal clothes? As a clan heir, you will need many more formal clothing, especially since the Uzumaki are a royal clan. I learned about my heritage just recently, officially. Besides, I have been busy studying my clan history, clan jutsu, and developing the new style of manipulating the elements. I did not have enough time to go shopping. In addition, until now, most of the shops had denied me access before. I do not know if they will allow now, and if I will even shop in those shops. Either all my previous clothes were gifted to me, picked up from dumpsters, or I was overcharged. I was unable to buy food as well. Some were kind enough to throw me some leftovers in the Ichiraku, who always welcomed me in their shop. Therefore, You tell me, do you think I grew up thinking different outfits were a necessity? Naruto stated to Sasuke and Sakura's surprise. Kakashi looked down at the confirmation of his suspicions. Then why do you want to even protect the people who have treated you like this? Why not take revenge? Sasuke said with anger. You have the Kyuubi's power and your own. I am sure that you can easily erase Konoha from the surface of the world. Revenge isn't everything. Yes, I can take revenge, but what would happen after that? It would leave me hollow and fill the world with more hatred. In addition, I do not want to become like them. Hate them for hating what they do not understand. It is in human nature to hate that we do not understand. Now let us leave the past in the past. We should think about the future and live in the present. Team 7 was walking down the road towards the Hokage mansion when Team 8, Team 9, and Team 10 met up with them. Each of them was wearing formal clothing. The sensei of each of the teams was wearing formal uniforms with Asuma wearing a medallion with the Fire Daimyo's crest engraved on it. Beside him, Kurenai was wearing a blood-red short kimono with a large sakura tree embroidered on it. Guy was Guy, wearing a formal variant of his usual spandex uniform with the addition of his Jonin vest and a blue haori with the kanji for beast embroidered on the back. Team 8 was dressed in formal kimonos that were common in their clans. Hinata was wearing an ornate sky blue kimono that was similar to the robes Naruto had seen Hiyashi wear in the council meeting, only designed for a female. Beside her, Shino was wearing a high-collared forest green kimono that hid his face, his eyes hidden behind his sunglasses. Kiba was wearing a brown and silver kimono that showed off a portion of his chest. From Team 9, Lee copied Guy with his haori holding the kanji for beast in training. Tenten was wearing a white chipao with a black dragon motif. Her hair pulled up in her usual buns. Beside her, Neji was wearing a more ornate version of his usual robes. From Team 10, Shikamaru was complaining about wearing the black and gray formal kimono his mother had forced him to wear. Beside him, Choji was munching on bag of chips wearing a formal version of his usual uniform. Finally, Ino was wearing a dark purple kimono with a lot of makeup on her face and her platinum blonde hair in a high ponytail. Hey everyone! Naruto called out the attention of the other teams. After greeting each other, Ino asked the question floating around most of the Jonin's minds. Why were we invited to this banquet? Nearly everyone shrugged, showing that none of them knew the reason. For some reason, Ino saw Team 7 and the rest of the Jonin sensei not reacting to her question. Asuma sensei, you know something, right? It should be obvious, Ino. Most of you are heirs members of prominent clans. Then there are Tenten, Sakura, and Lee. Each of them are showing potential that is rare even among prominent ninja clans, with Tenten's marksmanship, Sakura's position as the youngest fully certified combatter Ionin, and Lee's mastery of Taijutsu that allowed him to pass the academy even though he can't use chakra externally. These qualities always draw the attention of the nobles, Asuma said before Kurenai interrupted. You as the ones they will hire in the future. Your skills and your behavior are what they will be looking at. Know this, you are representing Konoha as a whole, not just your clans and families, so we expect all of you to be on your best behavior. Besides, the Hokage and the Fire Daimyo, as a thank you to the foreign dignitaries for coming this far just to view a short half-an-hour evaluation, arranged this banquet and so that they could personally meet Naruto, Sasuke said, getting surprised looks from the rest of the Jonin. What do you mean to meet Naruto? Then why were we invited? Kiba questioned with confusion. And how would you know that Uchiha-san? Looking at Shino, Sasuke smirked. That's because Team 7 was there when the Hokage and the Fire Daimyo told Naruto about the banquet and his position of guest of honor. Naruto asked permission for the most prominent Jonin for his generation to attend as his guests. That is why we are here. Teams 7, 8 and 10 are the only ones that passed the Jonin test this year. Team 9 is the only surviving team to pass last year. The rest lost members and reassigned to reserves or to other departments, Sakura said, getting a glare from Sasuke. Did you have to ruin my fun? I was waiting for dog breath to crack. This is neither the place nor the time for petty rivalry, Sakura snapped, getting surprised looks from her fellow Jonin. Looking around, they saw that Sakura was right. They were already close to the Hokage mansion, along with many civilians staring at them with scrutinizing gazes. Wrong behavior would bring shame to their clans. As they approached the gates, a bald man with a severe face and wearing white and black robes with a sash similar to Asuma's. Asuma, my friend, it has been too long. That it has. Kairiku, are you here to greet the guests? Asuma asked with a smile. Not exactly, that's what young Shirin is here for, the man named Kairiku said as he pointed to a young monk standing beside him. I was asked by Hideyoshi-sama to await young Naruto-sama's arrival. It has come to his attention that not only is Naruto-sama the last no Uzumaki, he is also the grandson of the Uzumaki Hikaru-sama, the third Uzukage and the last daimyo of Uzu no Kuni. He wanted me to ask you, Naruto-sama, will you be averse to releasing that information to the rest of the daimyo? He has been administering Uzu as your mother requested when he asked her. Now he asks you the same. Naruto looked startled at that revelation, while the others looked at the blonde Jinchuriki with disbelief. Naruto looked at Sakura, hoping she could give him some advice. Don't look at me. This is something you need to figure out yourself and right now. Is he planning to announce that right away if I agree? Kairiku nodded with an understanding smile. That's what he hopes, but he will understand if you want some more time to make a decision. Naruto was about to ask for more time when Kurama finally spoke up. Allow it, Naruto, on the condition that until you retire from your ninja career, the Fire Daimyo keeps administering Uzu no Kuni as your proxy while sending you monthly reports. It will allow you to grow into the position while still allowing you to prepare for the future. Naruto nodded before saying, I don't have a problem with my heritage being revealed, but I would ask that Hideyoshi-sama still serves as my proxy until I retire from being a ninja. Kairiku nodded before turned to the rest of the group. Now before we enter, can I please get all of your names and team affiliations? We need to announce your entries. Each entry will be team-wise with sensei followed by students with the exception of Naruto-sama, who will be announced first with his team following him, Kairiku said before noting down the name and team affiliations of everyone. Naruto-san is an exceptional shinobi Hokage dono. You should be proud of him. I just wish that my own Jinchuriki Gaara would have even a tenth of his abilities. Raza failed in his creation. The Wind Daimyo said to Hiruzen. Beside him, Raza clenched his fists in anger. I am sure that with proper training, even young Gaara would be able to easily control his Bijuu's powers. Though from what Naruto-kun had said, Kyuubi always calls Shukaku an empty-headed sand rat. So we can conclude that the only way for young Gaara to be able to use Shukaku's power to the fullest is to suppress his will Yoshihiro Dono, Hiruzen said with a reassuring smile. From what Kyuuki has said to my brother, Shukaku has intelligence but he is uncooperative at the best of times. Young Gaara would have a hard time coming to a compromise with the Ichibi. Besides, suppressing the will of a Bijuu is nearly impossible unless one has a pure heart. He said with a grim expression. A silence filled their side of the chamber when the River Daimyo approached the group. I have heard rumors that Uzumaki Naruto is the grandson of the last Uzu Daimyo. Is that true? The Fire Daimyo was about to answer when Kairiku started. Announcing the entrance of new guests. Announcing Uzumaki Naruto-sama, the present head of the Uzumaki clan, the 16th Uzu Daimyo and Junon member of Konoha's Team 7 with his guests, Hatake Kakashi, the present head of the Hatake clan and Jonin sensei to Konoha's Team 7, Uchiha Sasuke. The present head of the Uchiha clan and Junon member of Team 7, and finally Haruno Sakura, the final Junon member of Team 7 and the youngest fully certified combatter Ionin. Following the announcement, Naruto entered the room with his head held high with Kakashi following behind him with the rest of his teammates following behind Kakashi with heads held high. Announcing Mitogai, Jonin sensei of Konoha's Team 9 and master of the Gokentai Jutsu style with a Junon, Higurashi Tenten, the upcoming weapon mistress of Konoha, Rock Lee, apprentice to Mitogai, and Hyuga Neji, member of the prestigious Hyuga clan. Team 9 entered following the announcement. Guy and Lee entered with excitement while Tenten gave up nervous vibes. Neji, on the other hand, was completely stoic. Announcing Yuhi Kurenai, Jonin sensei of Konoha's Team 8 and Genjutsu mistress of Konoha with her Junon, Hyuga Hinata, heir presumptive of the prestigious Hyuga clan, Aburame Shino, heir apparent of the Aburame clan, and Inuzuka Kiba, secondary heir to the Inuzuka clan. Team 8 entered with Kurenai calmly walking into the room, though some could see the tensing of her back. Hinata was similar to her sensei, adopting a stern expression, though small uncertainty could be seen in her eyes. Shino was stoic as ever while Kiba entered with an excited expression. Announcing Sarutobi Asuma, Jonin sensei of Konoha's Team 10, former member of the 12 Ninja Guardians and heir apparent of the Sarutobi clan with his Junon, Yamanka Ino, heir apparent of the Yamanaka clan, Akimichi Ichoji, heir apparent of the Akimichi clan, and Nara Shikamaru, heir apparent of the Nara clan. Team 10 walked in with heads held high following their sensei's example, though Naruto could swear that Shikamaru was muttering about the whole thing being troublesome. Ah, the guest of honor and his guests have arrived. Hideyoshi, the fire daimyo said, quickly detaching himself from the group of Kage daimyo that surrounded him and approaching Naruto. Naruto Dono, I am happy that you have agreed to accept your rightful place on the throne, though I must confess, how you are planning to be both a ninja of Konoha and administer Uzu, while under us and our honored father's administration. We have helped the refugees rebuild the country which now thrives once again. You and your honored father have our gratitude for all the help you have given us and our country, Hideyoshi Dono, but may I request that you keep administering Uzu until I retire from my ninja career, or at least until I have been able to finish the Ketsueki Bunshin no Jutsu. Naruto said with a presence of authority that isn't normally seen in someone so young. When did Naruto learn to talk noblesse? Kiba asked the rest of the Jonin when Sakura giggled and replied, it's noblesse, and I have no idea, but he is doing quite well. Maybe it's because of his blood. He is of royal descent after all, Sasuke said with a grin. I am actually afraid of what he would have already become if he had the proper training from birth. All the gathered Jonin, their sensei, and the nearby clan heads shivered at the thought. All of them agreeing that any political enemy of the boy would be dead before anyone even realized what had happened. Forgive me for interrupting Hideyoshi Dono, but what do you mean by Ketsueki Bunshin no Jutsu, Naruto-kun? You haven't been experimenting with Kenjutsu, have you? Any kind of blood clone would require too much blood to be of viable use. All research into blood clones were dropped when the ninja sage Noboru died from blood loss 300 years ago. Mother and father had already done most of the research. I just have to finish the jutsu. When I am done, it would only need about half a pint of blood to do the jutsu, Naruto said, causing all the ninjas' faces to pale in realization. Even if you succeed, I would like to tell you that your Ketsueki Bunshin would be marked Kenjutsu. Come to me as soon as you succeed and make sure to not teach it to someone else unless I allow it, Hiruzen stated with a stern expression, only for Naruto to shake his head. Sorry, can't do that. My Ketsueki Bunshin is a derivative of the Kage Bunshin, but I plan on declaring it clan jutsu. Besides, it requires approximately twice as much chakra as the Kage Bunshin, so anyone outside my clan would die out of chakra exhaustion anyway. Declaring it clan jutsu would also keep it away from unsavory kinds of people like that bandaged old man. Hiruzen looked surprised but nodded in agreement. I can't stop you from declaring it a clan jutsu, but make sure to not teach it to someone unworthy. If it has the properties of the Kage Bunshin with the proposed properties of the blood clones, I don't want to think what it could do in the hands of the unworthy. I agree with Hokage Dono, Naruto Dono. Such techniques should be taught and used as sparingly as possible, he said with a stern expression. Naruto nodded in agreement before he was pulled into a conversation with the Wind Daimyo. Over the next 3 hours, Naruto walked about greeting daimyo and representatives of the different countries Hiruzen had invited to watch Naruto's evaluation. From time to time, Naruto could be seen talking with his fellow Jonin and their Jonin sensei before returning to socialize with the nobility and their representatives. Near the end of the night, the Raikage and Kaze Kage approached Naruto as he was speaking with a daimyo. Pardon us Tsuki Kakeru Dono, but may we steal Naruto Dono away for a moment? Tsuki Kakeru, the daimyo of Tsuki no Kuni, was an elder man nearing his 60s, looked up at the two Kage with a suspicious gaze. After a couple of moments of silent contemplation, the man turned back to Naruto. Then I shall take my leave, Naruto Dono. Please give consideration to my proposal, and if you are ever in my country, feel free to call on me. Your grandfather was a good friend of my father's. It is always a pleasure to host an Uzumaki. All of your clan had a way of brightening up the people they are around. It was an honor to meet you, Kakeru Dono. I promise to call on you if I am in Tsuki, and I will put considerable consideration to your proposal, Naruto said with a respectful bow, a bow that Kakeru returned before leaving. Naruto Dono, I must congratulate you on mastering the power of the Kyuubi and at such a young age, he said, getting a nod from Naruto. But I must confess that I wonder how you achieved that feat at such a young age. I must agree with Dono. It truly is an amazing feat. I just wish my own Jinchuriki, Gaara, would be able to achieve a similar feat. It is disappointing that he can't even master the power of the Ichibi, when someone his age has already mastered the power of the Kyuubi. Naruto and frowned at Raza's statement before replied, isn't young Gaara your youngest son? Raza nodded with an emotionless face. That's right. I didn't expect him to be such a disappointment. It's too bad. He is an exemplary shinobi, but he easily succumbs to Shukaku's will. He is a liability to the village. Maybe the seal is not stable enough, Naruto stated, getting an annoyed look from Raza and an understanding look from me. You think the mind separation component is not working? right? That's right, Raikage Dono. Either that, or Gaara has himself damaged the separation component. My seal though is different now. Previously, it used to keep me and Kurama completely separate, only letting a sliver of his power through. Higher amounts would have corroded the Haki no Funshiki. When I befriended the fox and helped him overcome his hatred for humans, the seal changed into Tori Seal. It allows us to easily synchronize our chakra without restraint. Our trust in each other is the strength of the seal. If required, I can restrain Kurama and separate his chakra away from him, but lose access to Bijou Modo. That is quite fascinating, Naruto Dono. It seems that you and my brother are very similar. I just wish Yugito would stop complaining about Mutatabi's quirks and build a better friendship with her. Now may I ask how you shared Bijou Chakra? He asked with curiosity. Beside him Raza silently seethed at being ignored by the two. That depends on the Jinchuriki. If they can truly understand the nature of their Bijou, themselves and their merged chakra, they can easily share it with others. Is that all, Raikage Dono? Naruto asked with a grin. He looked surprised but nodded in respect. He could appreciate the subtle way Naruto declared the end of that line of questioning. Now Naruto Dono, you said something about Gaara himself damaging the separation component. Why would you think of something like that? I doubt Gaara is badly treated. I mean, he is the son of their Namikaze Hokage and a jailer of the Ichibi. He deserves respect for both his lineage and his burden. He said with a mocking grin directed at Raza. Are you insinuating that I encourage the mistreatment of Gaara? Raza said with a cold voice, causing Yi to shake his head, his mocking grin not fading. I would say that probably the separation component has been faulty from the start, though I may be wrong. I would say only a level 8 and above seal master would be able to correct the seal. What I suspect is true, Naruto said, causing Raza's attention to shift to the young Jinchuriki. Are you insinuating that my seal master has botched the job? I would like you to know that Elder Chio is the finest seal master in all of Suna. Raza gritted out in anger. I never meant any insult, but a seal designed to hold a Bijou in a Jinchuriki is far more complex than one that holds a lower Bijou in an inanimate object. I am only saying that we are human after all. We all make mistakes, Naruto stated, causing Raza to stiffly nod before storming away. He doesn't take too well to criticism, does he, even if it is well hidden? Naruto asked he with a small grin, causing the Raikage to nod in agreement. Anyway, Naruto Dono, I wish to hear your views on the political climate that permeates the nations at this current time. Naruto appeared thoughtful for a few moments, but the far-off look in his eyes gave a minor hint that he was speaking with the Kyuubi. Nodding to himself, Naruto stated, the present climate that gives off the illusion of peace is quite loathsome. While an uneasy peace does exist, it is easily broken by the smallest of conflicts. And with each such infraction, we just create more hatred in the world, allowing the cycle of hatred to keep running. I believe that the only way we can achieve true peace is through complete understanding. We have the foundations, we just need to build upon it to achieve that peace. Some of the militant ideals, like the ones that lead to Gaara being cursed to become a Jinchuriki, need to go, while better ideals need to be introduced. If we all are able to forget past grudges and live in the present, I believe that we can easily achieve a steady peace. So to tell the truth, while I barely like the uneasy peace, I would love the peace I just described. He nodded in respect and understanding. I agree with you to a certain degree, but I doubt we could forget past grudges so easily. It will be up to the next generation, particularly your own, to build that peace on the foundations that today's uneasy peace provides. I agree with Itono, Naruto-kun. We will try and make the foundations as stable as possible. It will be up to your generation to build the everlasting peace that you wish. Hiruzen said as he came to stand behind Naruto, placing a hand on Naruto's shoulder. Now Idono, I believe it is time that we all prepare to leave. It is already quite late into the night and many of us need to prepare for long journeys or, in some of our cases, neglected paperwork. Of course, Hokage Dono, good night, and to you as well, Naruto Dono. He stated as he walked away from the duo. Hiruzen silently motioned for Naruto to follow him. After walking to a quiet corner, Hiruzen turned to Naruto with a proud smile on his face. I have been observing you throughout the night, Naruto-kun, and I must admit that you have caught everyone by surprise. Many here expected you to be a gullible, boasting rookie, not the humble but powerful young man you proved yourself to be. When my fellow Kage came to speak with you, I was about to intervene. But Jiraiya stopped me. I was angry at him at first, but by the way you handled them, I can already see you as a monster of a Kage, in both power and political acumen. Jiraiya was right to trust you. I am ashamed to admit that I didn't. I think that with a couple of years of experience, You would easily be able to become the god-time Hokage. Thanks for your confidence, Gigi. I will strive to achieve your expectations, Naruto stated with a formal bow. Hiruzen bowed in return before grinning. Now are you ready for your speech? What? What speech? Naruto asked in panic until Hiruzen started chuckling. Naruto looked up confused before realizing that Hiruzen had just pranked him. With a flat tone, Naruto stated, "Beware Gigi, I will get you back for this prank." Hiruzen felt a shiver run down his spine. He had forgotten for a moment who he was talking to. Now he would have to keep looking over his back for Naruto's retaliation. Faking a cough, Hiruzen stated, "Just as well, you should gather up your friends and head home for the night. All of you have missions and training in the morning." Naruto nodded with a foxy grin before rushing to gather his friends. "You do know that you are a dead man walking, right Hiruzen?" Hiruzen turned his head to see his old teammate, Koharu standing beside him. With a sigh, Hiruzen replied, "I realized it right after Naruto-kun stated his desire for revenge. I should have kept my childish urge in control. Watch your back Hiruzen. I will inform Homura and Danzo to stay far away from you until Naruto is satisfied," Koharu stated with a grin before leaving the old cage to wallow in self-pity. Team 7 and their sensei were walking towards the Hokage Tower wondering why they were suddenly called during their scheduled training session. They were working on some team formations when the Anbu suddenly appeared in the middle of Training Ground 7 with a scroll from the Hokage. The surprising thing was that the scroll had only a single line in it. "Team 7, you are hereby summoned to the council chambers immediately, by orders of the Hokage." "What did you do now, Baka?" Sakura had asked as soon as Kakashi had finished reading the scroll. "I swear I didn't do anything, yet." "Sakura, I know how this looks, but the message called all of us. It didn't specifically single out Naruto. So it is prudent of us to assume that we are being called in for a special mission. It does happen to experienced teams, though it is rare for freshly minted Genin being assigned such missions. Then again, looking at the current strength of our team, we already surpass the strength of most experienced Genin teams past, present and future," Kakashi said, not taking his eyes of his copy of the Icha. "It can also be a diplomatic mission. Naruto is a daimyo in the face of Konoha. Sending him on diplomatic missions is very likely," Sasuke said with a frown. "What I am confused about is our whole team being called in. Usually only the representative is called along with the team meant to escort him or her. Maybe, we are being assigned as the escort while Naruto is the ambassador?" Sakura said, causing Naruto to suddenly stop with a nervous expression on his face. Seeing the expression, Kakashi and Sasuke chuckled. "You afraid for such a simple mission when you can take down a team of elite Jonin, a rookie Jonin, a Tokubutsu Jonin who is known to be strong enough to easily rival some of our elite Jonin and 2 elite Anbu?" Sasuke asked with a smirk, causing Naruto to growl. "Who wants to spend hours discussing treaties when I can be out there taking down enemies of Konoha, protecting innocents and training?" Naruto exclaimed as they reached the Hokage Tower. Now Naruto. There is no need to be irritable. We all get diplomatic missions from time to time. With you being the face of Konoha, you will now be taking the brunt of the major ones." Kakashi smirked in amusement as Naruto started cursing. Beside him, Sasuke and Sakura were chuckling and giggling respectively. As Team 7 reached the council chambers, Naruto still cursing under his breath, Kakashi offered the scroll to the Anbu guarding the entrance. After the Anbu read the message before nodding to Team 7, the Anbu slotted the scroll into the door frame behind him. The door glowed green before a click was heard before the door swung open. "Please enter now before the door close again." Team 7 nodded to the Anbu as they entered the room. Naruto having adopted a mask of calm. "Ah, Team 7, welcome. You all must be wondering why you have been summoned here. Well, no matter. You'll be informed of the reason soon." Team 7 looked up at the raised seat to their left in surprise. Though everyone knew of the seats reserved for the daimyo and his advisors, no one expected the daimyo to be present at a council meeting that didn't deal with war. "Good morning, Hideyoshi Dono. I didn't expect to meet you here today," Naruto said with a formal bow. "No need to bow, Naruto-kun, and no need for formalities outside a gathering of daimyo and their representatives. Now come and sit beside me. It is the least honor I can accolade you as an allied daimyo," Hideyoshi said, causing the civilian councilors to start whispering amongst themselves. Some of them wearing pallid expressions. "Hiruzen, after this, you must sanction the Uzumaki seat to be on my side and at the same level and with the same number of advisor seats." "As you wish, Hideyoshi-sama," Hiruzen said as he stood up and bowed. At the same time, Naruto walked up the steps to the unoccupied seat beside the fire daimyo. Good, now to the reason for the summoning. Naruto-kun, you asked me to be your proxy till you have grown accustomed to your newly revealed station. As I said, I am honored to accept. My advisor Old Cheng here has already compiled all the scrolls and documents pertaining to Uzu. At the end of the meeting, he will personally accompany you to your home and help you understand all of it. At the end of every month from now on, Cheng will come to Konoha and hand over the new month's documents, which is unless you are occupied in a long-term mission. In such a case, it will be handed over to the current Hokage. I understand and accept, Hideyoshi Ji-chan, Naruto stated with a small bow of his head. Hideyoshi smiled at Naruto before continuing, now as your stature as an unattached daimyo of young age, you will be sent many marriage contracts with some daimyo and nobles trying to get you to verbally agree to such a proposal. I advise you not to commit yourself to any such arrangement, all the while gracefully and politely decline or redirect the talks, unless you are interested. Naruto nodded his head in understanding while sweat dropping in realization of what he had promised Shien in the future that no longer exits. Now, as the last known male member of the royal line of the Uzumaki, you are already considered the clan head and daimyo of Uzu. That you already know. Now what you don't know is that a law was passed by the 23rd gathering of daimyo some 400 years ago that states that the male heir of a royal or noble clan are required to have multiple spouses to repopulate their clan, if the clan is nearly extinct. All the ninja village has a similar law that applies to their ninja clans. Both of them are called the Clan Restoration Act. The difference between the laws is that the daimyo's version requires the target to marry multiple spouses without any choice and taking only a single spouse. The shinobi version, the target have the choice to only take a single spouse. Interestingly, you are applicable for both laws, with the daimyo version taking precedence over the shinobi version. Naruto nodded with an eerily calm expression gracing his face. So I have no choice in whether I take a single spouse or multiple? No, you don't, though you have a choice in who will be your spouse. There is no limit to the number of spouses, but the minimum is 3. Now I hope that you are wise in choosing. As a daimyo, you have a duty to your people. Marrying the wrong woman may cause a political instability. Marriage with us royals isn't always about love, we marry out of duty and political advantages as well. Many will send their daughters after you due to the promise of power a marriage to your family will grant them, Hideyoshi said, looking at the civilian council. I see, thank you for your warning. I will endeavor to keep on my guard. I would expect no less of you, Naruto-kun. Now I must say that even I was surprised when I received multiple contracts from the minor daimyo pertaining to you, as your proxy. All of them are with Cheng. He will show you all the ins and outs of the contracts. You must pay attention to the minor details that are usually hidden within the flowery language used in such contracts. Again, Cheng will be able to help you. I also advise you to seek out trustworthy people to act as your advisors. They can be shinobi, samurai, monks or civilians. It all depends on you. In fact, Cheng was a samurai before he became my advisor. Now on to other things. Normally you wouldn't be able to become a clan head until you become a chunin. But I think it prudent that you and young Uchiha Sasuke become clan heads, as you two are the last loyal members of your clans. Excuse me, Daimyo-sama, but may I decline in taking my position as clan head until the time in the future when I am much more experienced and comfortable with my skills before taking up such responsibility? Sasuke said, getting a gasp from the civilian council. The daimyo stared at Sasuke with a blank look, causing the boy to squirm. After a couple of minutes of silence, Hideyoshi hummed as he replied, "You are wiser than your age portrays. Most would have accepted the rank without thinking of the responsibilities that come with it. I will accept your reasoning, but know this, as soon as you feel ready, you may take up your position as clan head of the Uchiha even if you are not a chunin. Too long has the Uchiha and Senju clans been unrepresented. Hiruzen, I also order you to call in Tsunade so that she may be of use to Konoha again." "As you wish, Daimyo-sama. Now, Hotake Kakashi." "Yes, Daimyo-sama?" Kakashi asked with a bit of nervousness seeping into his tone. "You are not fulfilling your duty to your clan. The Hotake clan has been citizens of Hai no Kuni since the founding of the country some 900 years ago. Your clan has been retainers of my family, and you have served us well. It is truly disheartening that the last heir would see his clan pass from living memory instead of making sure that there are members to carry on the grand legacy of their ancestors. All of your ancestors must be rolling over in their graves." Kakashi hung his head in shame but nodded in agreement that he was in fact disappointing his ancestors. "I understand, Daimyo-sama. I will strive to better myself and make sure that my clan carries on." Now Haruno Sakura. I would like you to head a department I wish to personally fund. It shall deal with the training of competent Arayanin so that every team shall at least have one capable of administering first aid on the field on fatal injuries so that the rest of the team has time to bring the fatally wounded member back for intensive care. I know that you are young, but your accomplishment in gaining full certification is enough for me to appoint you to such a position. You are welcome to keep doing missions with your team while leaving behind a suitable temporary head. Hiruzen makes sure that Team 7 doesn't get any mission that will keep them away from Konoha for more than 8 weeks. Hiruzen and Sakura nodded in agreement, causing the daimyo to smile at them. Then I believe that we are finished with the meeting. Now before we all leave to attend to our duties, I have something to say, Hideyoshi said as he looked around the room. Seeing everyone's attention on him, he continued, Naruto-kun has decided to become the face of Konoha and along with it the Uzu daimyo. That means that he is representing 2 countries. As we all know, Uzu is still feared for their Fuinjutsu skills. Now Konoha must owe up to the image Naruto-kun is portraying. We all must do our part. The shinobi forces must grow stronger, both individually and as teams. There are many who failed the Jinan test. Those who have adequate qualities, don't throw them away, send them for specialized training. Sakura-chan, I advise that you look for candidates for your department from that pool along with the existing Jinan and Academy students. The civilians should leave their greedy nature behind or be executed for treason. What do you mean, Daimyo-sama? A fat man from the civilian council asked with confusion. Hideyoshi nodded to the advisor sitting behind him. The old woman nodded as she took out a bundle of scrolls and started reading. 500,000 ryo diverted from the annual funds sent for infrastructure development to the personal coffers of Councillor Tanaka and Councillor Hitomi. 1 million ryo diverted from the annual funds allocated to the betterment of the Shinobi Academy to the coffers of Councillor Jimu. 750,000 ryo diverted from the annual royal donations to the orphanages in Konoha to the coffers of Councillors Hitomi, Hokuto, and Takaboshi. Should I continue, Daimyo-sama? The rest are all permutations of the councillors already stated. No thank you, have Kairiku go ahead and reclaim the stolen money along with 20% interest per annum. The traitors will be executed if they protest. Hiruzen, it seems that you have become a bit soft in your old age. You can do what you want with these 5 traitors any way you wish. I give them to you. Make sure to dissolve the present council and make note of the possible new members and send it to me. Naruto-kun, I would like a favor of you. How may I be of service, Ji-chan? I would like you to look over any propositions the new civilian council hands to Hiruzen so that he doesn't have to waste time in looking over unnecessary ones. It will also be good practice for the future when you take full control of Uzu. As you wish, Ji-chan. Also, I would like you to spend a few hours of your free time to restructure the academy curriculum. Your training has borne fruit to amazing results. I hope that you will be able to devise one that will allow the future Jinan to be highly trained from the start, instead of the useless soldiers the present curriculum produces. I was going to suggest some changes to Gigi already. Now I will make sure that the academy graduates will at least be low Chunin level when they graduate. In fact, I was planning to help my classmates and a select few Jinan from last year to learn the Ninshu I used during the test. That's a fine idea, Naruto-kun. Hiruzen and Hideyoshi exclaimed at the same time before Hideyoshi continued, if you think it possible, why not add a few Jonin and Anbu to your plan? I was going to suggest that our Jonin and Anbu start training more anyway. After the test, I realized that while all of them are fine shinobi, they have all become complacent. My goal is to make sure that all of our shinobi reaches their full potential. Many become lazy after reaching a certain level, which is most common among prodigies. Then there are those who aren't naturally talented but make do with intense training. With proper regimes, I am sure that Kotetsu, Izumo and Iruka-sensei can easily become elite jonin, though in cases of the 2 former, they have become lazy while in the case of the latter, he has little time to do personal training with the amount of history he has to teach. If the academy was more practical-oriented, all the teachers could train right beside their students. It would motivate both the students and the teachers to do better. Then devise such a routine, Naruto-kun. I will make it so that all shinobi are required to compulsorily follow the routine as much as possible, Hiruzen stated, getting a nod from Naruto and the daimyo. From the corner of his eye, Naruto caught the happy expression on Danzo's face. If you need help in devising the routines, I would like to offer my help. Though I was wondering, will you teach Ninshu to a young boy who is my ward? Young Sai has so much potential. Everyone looked at Danzo with skepticism. Naruto closed his eyes and activated his Senin Modo before releasing it. Within that one moment, Danzo knew that Naruto wasn't trusting him as much as he would like. Then again, Naruto seems to have similar ideologies to himself, and he wouldn't trust Naruto much if their roles were reversed. Danzo saw Naruto opened his eyes with a stern expression in them. "I would gladly accept your help in devising the routines and I will accept him, but make no mistake, if I find him lacking, I will forbid him from learning any more from me." Danzo nodded in agreement. "He won't disappoint you, and I can assure you of that. He is one of the finest I have ever trained." Hiruzen and the rest of the Shinobi Council looked startled at the revelation. The only thing that was going through their collective minds was what game these two were playing against each other. "That's good, but I must ask, is he a shinobi of Konoha, or just an orphan you decided to favor?" Sweat flowed down Danzo's neck at the question. "He was an orphan that caught my attention. I decided to take him in and train him." "Then why isn't he a shinobi of Konoha yet, unless you think he is not ready yet for his duties? After all, if the roots aren't strong enough, the whole tree suffers." Hiruzen narrowed his eyes at Naruto's particular choice of words. At the same time, a shiver ran down Danzo's spine as he looked at Naruto in shock. He understood the hidden meaning behind Naruto's words. "I know that he is a member of your root forces, and I will be keeping a close eye on you and your men." I was planning to introduce him to Hiruzen for induction into Konoha ranks in a couple of more years when I was sure that he was high Chunin material. But if you won't train him until he is a Konoha shinobi, then I can have him inducted within the week. Naruto nodded in agreement. "Then I want his full file. His abilities, his heritage, his mentality, everything." Hiruzen saw Danzo give a nervous nod and realized what Naruto was doing. He was making sure that Danzo took him as a threat, but only if Danzo stood against Naruto's plans for the betterment of Konoha. Floating around the heads of the Shinobi Council was only a single thought: don't piss off Naruto. If he can make Danzo sweat, they don't want Naruto setting his sights on them. "Now if all of you have finished, I think we should absolve this meeting before some other discussion comes up. I think that all of us would like lunch before heading back to our duties," Daimyo said as he and his entourage stood up to leave. Following his example, the rest of them prepared to leave as well. As Team 7 walked out of the room, Naruto addressed Kakashi. "Ni Kakashi-sensei, I think it is time you throw away that perverted book and look for a bride before Daimyo Ji-chan forces you to marry someone of his choice." Beside him, Sakura started giggling, while Sasuke smirked. Kakashi grumbled out, "Mind your own business, you troublesome blonde. I am sure that Naruto can convince Daimyo-sama to ban Icha from Konoha. Make sure to get a life before Naruto does that," Sasuke said with the smirk still present on his face. "Don't worry Kakashi-sensei, I am sure there is a perverted woman out there who likes Icha just like you," Sakura exclaimed with laughter. "Not very likely," Kakashi mumbled under his breath before disappearing in a sunshine. "So this is the Uzumaki compound? I thought it would be more opulent, especially since they were a royal clan." Ino muttered, getting the attention of her teammates and sensei. "Dad said that the Uzumaki never liked showing off. He said that Mito-sama was a great Fuinjutsu mistress, but no one knew that until she helped Shodai-sama seal away the bijou in their first Jinchuriki. After the fall of Uzu, she helped restructure the protection seals on the outer walls and the creation of the detection barrier around Konoha. Most of them were far superior to the ones that were around Uzu at the time of the fall, and let me tell you, each of the seals in Uzu were a masterpiece beyond the understanding of most Uzumaki themselves," Asuma said, getting surprised looks from Izhanan. "Why haven't we learned of them in history classes in the academy?" Shikamaru asked with a frown. "That's because the civilian council decided that suppressing the knowledge of the Uzumaki would prevent anyone from questioning their words about me." Team 10 looked ahead to see Naruto standing in front of them at the gates of the compound with a seal tag in his hand. "Oh hello Naruto, what do you mean by that?" Ino asked with curiosity as her team groaned in annoyance. "Simple, because I am the Kyuubi Jinchuriki, they didn't want anyone to know the truth of the sealing arts. If everyone knew the extent of seals, then they would question if I was the fox or not. Then there was the jealousy many of the counselors had against my clan. Even if they never completely moved to Konoha, they were still a founder and we have quite a lot of real estate here. Most of the ones who were against me had been trying to buy up the shops under Uzumaki ownership, like the Golden Leaf Hotel. They couldn't because a law states that if an heir of a probably extinct clan wasn't found within 16 years, all the real estate belonging to the clan would become state property while the clan scrolls would be given to a ninja clan with the closest blood connection, in this case the Senju. If no blood connection was found, the clan scrolls would be put up to auction so that other clans could bid for them while the forbidden techniques would be sealed in the cage vault along with the heirlooms. That's one law I didn't know about. How did you come about it? Everyone turned to see Hiyashi standing behind Naruto along with Inuzu Kitsume and Aburame Shibi. It is an old law in existence since before the time of the village system. It was created under the command of the Council of Daimyo to prevent unnecessary bloodshed during the warring clan period. I found out about it on the day after my evaluation. Advisor Cheng went over all the laws that are common among the nations and laws that particularly affect the citizens of Hai no Kuni and Usu no Kuni. The three clan heads nodded. All of them realized that after the creation of the villages, that law became a bit obscure. Hiyashi looked at Naruto with an inscrutable expression as he asked, "How has your real estate been managed this long? Shouldn't they be in ruins?" Luckily my father was an absolute genius with a proclivity for premonitions. He and mother hired an overseer to oversee all clan assets along with my father's personal assets, which are now clan assets as well. He did a fine job as well. At the moment most of my assets are returning a high premium of 150% to 300% the original investments. That's only the ones in Konoha. I still haven't the time to see the assets pertaining to Uzu that Hideyoshi Jiji has been overseeing. He must be a genius in business strategy and investments. May I ask who he is? Shikaku asked as he walked up to the group loitering about the gate, along with Inoiki and Choza. He will be here as well. He is the only person other than Jiraiya, Jiji, Hideyoshi Jiji, Sakura-chan and Konohamaru to have full access to my compound. All the elders present understood the underlying threat. None of them had gained his trust yet, not even his final teammate and sensei. Not that any of them could blame him. Anyway, you are the final lot to arrive, please put forward your right arms. I need to apply the key seal to allow you entrance into compound. After everyone got their temporary keys into the compound, Naruto vanished in a puff of smoke, to the surprise of the new arrivals. He was a bunshine. That's right Asuma, did you expect him to wait here for the late arrivals leaving his other guests? It's not like he needed to be here, he didn't apply blood seals after all, Tsume said with a faint grin. Besides, why were you late? Not taking after Kakashi are you, especially since he was the first of us to arrive? I thought that Naruto was pulling a prank on us. Asuma gave a nervous chuckle before saying, I heard Kakashi complain that Naruto threatened him with a month of non-stop pranks and a ban on Icha if he didn't get his act together. I am not surprised that he changed that easily. What does him being here has to do with blood seals and why are you making so much fuss about them? This seal doesn't look complicated. Ino asked with confusion. Kushina, his mother was my friend. She helped put up some new protections around the Inuzuka clan compound. They were blood-based intruder detection seals connected to a large sealing array that engraved the blood connection of the intruder into a scroll placed in the array. If we checked the scroll, the intruder's name would be found along with their blood relations. I don't know how, but the Uzumaki has some kind of master seal that has a record of all the clans present and past. She just modified a more complex version of the seal into a simple detection one that our own seal masters could maintain. To apply blood seals, he would have need to be present, Tsume said with a grin. So this one is a normal seal? No it isn't young Yamanaka. It is more complex than any blood seal we know. I studied under Mito-sama in my youth. I had asked her about that seal. She had only smiled and said that it was far above what most Uzumaki can understand. When I asked why, she just said that even she has difficulty in understanding the seal. It was created by her grandfather during the Warring Clans period to protect the whole of Ozushio. How the alliance of Iwa, Kumo and Kiri got through, we may never know, but I expect that there may have been a traitor. The seal, if applied under force, would etch itself onto the target, but when the target would try to pass through the barrier, they would be shocked into incapacitation, their chakra bound and finally their whole body would be placed in stasis. To simplify, the seal is semi-sentient, it reads the emotions of the applier and applies the appropriate seals. If Naruto wanted, he could have made it permanent instead of temporary. The permanent seals would have 10 triangles arranged around the spiral. None of ours have that. Thank you for the delightful lecture on the Uzumaki and their sealing abilities along with Key Seal Elder Danzo. Don't mention it Hiyashi, it is good that the young one are finally learning about the Uzumaki. They truly were an amazing clan. It was a sad day when we heard about their demise. I was greatly angered when any mention of them were removed from the academy curriculum, even references to Mito-sama. The clan heads along with Asuma narrowed their eyes at the old warhawk. They couldn't see why he would be praising the Uzumaki when in the past he would be extremely against any foreign allies, always expecting a betrayal. Hello, if I may have all of your attention please. The voice of Hiruzen flooded the compound. The group hurried behind Danzo and appeared in the large back garden. The whole garden was filled with blooming flowers. Some of them were rare enough to catch even Ino's attention. On an ornate stage made of wood carved with seals stood the Hokage in his robes. It pleases me to no end to be able to introduce a new clan head. Normally the honor falls to the previous clan head, and in his or her absence, the clan elders. On the other hand, it also saddens me that the clan head is the only surviving member of his family known to us. Please welcome the 17th head of the Uzumaki clan and the 15th daimyo of Uzunokuni, Uzumaki Naruto. The only son of our beloved Yondaime Hokage, Namikaze Minato, and Uzumaki Kushina, the daughter of the Sandaime Uzukage and the great-nephew of Senju. Mito-sama, Hiruzen stated as Naruto walked onto the stage wearing his ninja uniform without his usual haori. Instead he was wearing a sleeveless white cloak with gold piping. A large red Uzumaki spiral was dyed into the back of the cloak. The inside was a royal purple with faint black seals drawn on the fabric. As Naruto took center stage, everyone became quiet. Along with the clan heads, village elders, Hokage, his friends, and the Anbu commander, some delegates of many of the minor daimyo were present. Around the gardens, many shinobi from allied villages were also there. From Suna, an old lady was present taking with a middle-aged man bearing the crest of the Wind Daimyo. Many civilian businessmen were also present. Finally Madame Shijimi was sitting beside a young brunette girl about 12 wearing an expensive red kimono with black sakura petals embroidered on it. In the young girl's arms was the dreaded cat, Tora. Naruto took a deep breath before starting to speaking. I thank you for coming here today as I officially take up my position as the 17th head of the Uzumaki clan and the 15th daimyo. It is a day of both happiness and sadness to me. I am happy that I will be able to officially represent my ancestors. I am sad as none of them are alive to see me bring the Uzumaki back to prominence, though I believe that the dead are always looking out for us. I hope that my actions up until now has made them proud and my future actions will make them prouder still. An absolute silence filled the garden at that statement. After a couple of moments of silence, Naruto continued, everyone knows that the world is cruel. We humans have a habit of falling onto the path of darkness. Anger, revenge, grudge, jealousy and greed are some of sins that plague us. We don't want to let the past lie in the past and drag ages-old grudges into the light of the present. I dearly hope that I never fall to the darkness as I once nearly did in the past. I hope to always keep on the brightened path that I now walk. The path I led the mighty Kyuubi no Yoko onto. Hokage-sama tried to keep me from my heritage with the thought of protecting me from the cycle of hatred. He feared my parents' enemies would be after my head. If everyone walked on the brightened path, then we would not have to fear such attempts. Everyone nodded in agreement with Naruto's statement without even realizing. As I said, I don't plan on submerging me into the sea of darkness that plagues the world. I realize that many of the neutral and enemies of Konoha and her allies are now wary of me. I can say without a doubt that I won't take up arms against anyone for past offenses, but if any targets those precious to me, my village, my countries, my clan, my allies and allies of my countries, even the innocent, I will not hold back. This I promise to everyone as a shinobi of Konoha, as the head of the Uzumaki clan and the Uzu Daimyo. As Naruto said that, everyone cheered, Sakura and Sasuke cheering the loudest. As the cheering came to an end, Naruto motioned for a man with long black hair held in a ponytail with a pair of katana and wakizashi strapped at his waist. He was wearing an expensive set of hakama and furisode that is common among samurai. Now I like to introduce the chairman of the Naruto Banking Corporation, Hikafune Takagetsu-san. He is also my advisor on economic matters both related to the clan and Uzunokuni as a whole. In my absence, he has graciously accepted to handle all civilian matters in relation to the clan, Naruto stated as the man bowed with a small smile on his face. Forgive me for my insolence Naruto-sama, but why do you trust him to handle such delicate matters? Everyone turned to see one of the gathered businessmen was the speaker. The man was short for his age, but looked pleasant enough in demeanor. Naruto's eyes narrowed for a moment before a foxy grin lightened up his face. He is completely trustworthy. He did the same when my parents were alive and after their death as well. After all, without my input, the Uzumaki and Namikaze finances should have been in ruins by now. It is only thanks to Takagetsu-san that they are still in good condition. In fact, it is in better condition than it was 16 years ago, when he first took over from his predecessor. I have full confidence in him and his abilities in managing my civilian affairs. Thank you for the great honor Naruto-sama. I am truly sorry that I didn't recognize you before the revelation. I could have at least helped you by giving you access to your trust fund account. That is alright Takagetsu-san. As I said before, what is in the past, let it lie there. Now as this is a party, I will no longer keep you all from the festivities. Please enjoy, Naruto said with a bow before stepping down from the platform with Takagetsu. Did you know that Takagetsu-san was a retainer of the Uzumaki clan? Homura asked with confusion. No, I didn't. It seems that Minato and Kushina weren't as trusting of us as they portrayed themselves to be, Koharu said with a frown. She couldn't think of a reason to cause such mistrust in them. It was the proper thing to do. You don't let financial information of your clan fall into enemy hands. Naruto is taking a great risk by introducing Takagetsu as his retainer for civilian and financial matters. You are right in that, Danzo, but also wrong. Takagetsu is probably the best protected civilian other than the daimyo of the 5 major countries. No one wants their financial information fall into enemy hands. The only one who would even dare to attack him would be Nukeman. Even the villages themselves hold accounts in the Naruto Banking Corporation. If one attacks him to get the information on a rival village, all the neutral villages, the daimyo and the businessmen would turn against the offending village. Naruto knows this. He is making a statement. He is challenging all of his enemies to ruin themselves by attacking Takagetsu. I didn't think of that, but what about Black Ops missions? The agent said to get the information would be marked a Nukeman. A sacrifice for the greater good. It is something I would do. Homura, Koharu and Hiruzen narrowed their eyes. That's as possible, but the problem will still remain on how to use the gathered information without making it obvious of their ploy, unless they plan to financially cripple Naruto. Homura mused with a concerned expression. There won't be any way to spin the tale without incriminating themselves, and no one wants to anger the collection of villages, the daimyo and the businessmen. They would ruin themselves as well. Only the most diehard haters would even think of sacrificing their families and countries. Something, even Aniki and Dio aren't. Only danger is Orochimaru, but even he isn't stupid enough to get a larger target painted on his back. At this moment, only Konoha hunts him. If he moved against the largest banking corporation in the lands, he would instantly have all the villages, daimyo and businessmen offer massive bounties on his head. You are right Hiruzen, I am just clutching at straws. Naruto's presence is way too vital to Konoha. I am just overthinking things, Danzo said getting nods from the rest of the elderly shinobi. This is an interesting revelation Naruto Dono, I didn't realize that the Haikifune Takagetsu Dono was a retainer of the Uzumaki clan. Naruto turned around and grinned, neither did I know until he approached me the day after the revelation of my heritage. Until now, we have been using all the free time I have had to go through 12 years of financial and economic paperwork. Thankfully, Takagetsu-san was given the authority to do as required to maintain the assets. I just had to approve some of the pending decisions and review some of the older major decisions Takagetsu-san took. Nothing much with the help of Kage Bunshine. Ah, I see, but may I ask what the sudden reference to the Kage Bunshine no jutsu had to do with paperwork? Nothing much Hiyashi-san. Kage Bunshine does allow memory sharing when the Bunshine dispels. It was an invaluable tool when dealing with the paperwork. My progress in Ninshu also has its roots to the Kage Bunshine, though most won't be able to use it as an effective training tool. Hiyashi blinked in shock. While the Hyuga didn't learn any jutsu outside their own and the 3 academy standard ones, but they do keep up with the aspects of other jutsu. The memory passing function of the Kage Bunshine was something he didn't know. For the first time in his life he cursed his clan's views on the usage of foreign jutsu. That is interesting Naruto Dono. I must admit while I know a lot about the functioning of many jutsu, that particular aspect of the Kage Bunshine I was not knowledgeable about. Naruto nodded when Danzo approached the pair with Hiruzen, Madame Shijimi and the young girl who carrying Tora. Ah Naruto-sama, having a delightful conversation I see. Naruto nodded to Danzo as he replied, no more delightful than usual. If you will excuse me Hiyashi-san. Of course Naruto Dono. I will leave you to your guests, Hiyashi said before turning to the Danzo and his group, Elder Danzo, Hokage-sama, Shijimi-sama, Kana-sama, a good day to you. If you will all excuse me. The 4 nodded to Hiyashi in greeting and dismissal before turning to Naruto. Good day Naruto-sama, I thank you and your team again for catching Tora for me the other day. This is my granddaughter Kanakin. Nice to meet you Kana-san and please don't mention it Oba-sama. It was the mission and I would be loath to fail a mission as easy as capturing Tora without extreme duress. It would bring shame on both my honor, my team's honor, my village honor and my clan's honor. Still, I can't thank you enough for returning Tora to me unharmed and in the fastest time as well. Madame Shijimi said as she took Tora from her granddaughter's arms. But before she could get a proper grip on the tiger-like cat, Tora jumped out of her owner's arms and nestled himself in Naruto's arms, all the while purring in contentment. Interesting, you are the only one other than myself and Kana-chan who Tora is allowing to hold him. Normally he would scratch anyone else. Must be because of my aura. As an accomplished sage, minor amount of Senjutsu chakra is constantly flowing through me, giving me a calming presence. He must like that. Then again, he isn't a normal cat. Isn't that right, Tora? Everyone raised an eyebrow in confusion to what Naruto said. While Tora is longer lived than most cats, he hasn't shown any special abilities. Hiruzen and Danzo, after a few moments, widened their eyes in realization to what Naruto meant. What do you mean, Naruto-sama? Kana asked with confusion as she watched Tora in Naruto's hands. She could have sworn Tora was shaking with nerves for a moment. What I mean is that Tora isn't a normal house cat. He is either a summons or a nin-niko. A powerful one as well. I can sense his powerful chakra. So are you going to reveal yourself, Tora? Naruto said with a grin as he felt Tora tremble in his hands. After what felt like an eternity, Tora sighed before speaking up. Dangama Senin. You are just like Gamamaru-sensei. Never letting a cat have a bit of fun. Everyone in the garden stared at the shocking revelation. The glass of wine in Kurama Hokuto's hand slipped and shattered grass, letting the red liquid flow unfettered. Most of his generation were looking at the cat with gaping mouths, while Kakashi glared at the cat with his single eye. Beside him, Asuma was half frozen with cigarette in his hand. What? Guy screamed out in shock. This is not your true form, is it? You really aren't a cat, are you, Tora? Naruto said, causing the cat to glare balefully at the blonde. With a hiss, he jumped down towards a relatively large free area of the garden before being engulfed in a burst of smoke. When the smoke cleared, instead of a cat with tiger patterns, a massive white tiger with ice blue eyes and dark gold markings. Happy now? Tora asked with a rumbling tone. Almost everyone had a shiver run down their spines at his rumbling tone. Naruto nodded without showing any emotion. Sighing, the tiger spoke again. My true name is Byako the Tora Senin. As everyone stared at the tiger in shock, Naruto nodded and asked, what are you doing hiding? Byako roared out in anger at Naruto, causing everyone to take a step back from the enraged tiger. How dare you insinuate I was hiding? I was merely using the transformation to easily keep an eye for a worthy summoner. It has been too long since the tigers had a summoner. All the times I had Janan chase me down were tests. Until now, I have only found 3 worthy of being a summoner. Unfortunately, one of them are a traitor to Konoha, and we tigers are too proud to serve a traitor. And the other 2? Naruto asked without fear as he walked closer to the tiger. Why do you wish to know? I have no need to know, but I am just curious who you found worthy. Byako closed his eyes for a moment before opening them again. You were one, but the toads are higher ranked in the summoning realm for me to ask you to sign our contract without fear of offending. The other was until now worthless because of his mentality, but thanks to you he now walks the right path. I was planning to approach him later and in private, but now will do. Uchiha Sasuke, step forward. Everyone gasped in shock. No one expected Sasuke to be the potential summoner. When Sakura saw Sasuke was too shocked to move on his own, she gave Sasuke a light shove, causing the boy to stumble but approach the tiger in a daze. Normally we summons test our potential summoner before allowing them to sign the contract. In most cases, we give tests of physical and mental capabilities. This time as well I shall test you. I will allow you to sign the contract, but only if you land a single hit on me. Know this, if you fail, your life is forfeit. You may decline the challenge and give up any hope of ever signing the tiger summoning contract, but you will leave unharmed. What is your choice? Byako asked, causing everyone to look startled. Everyone could understand that if he turned the test down, he would never get this chance again. Sasuke glared at Naruto for a moment before turning back to Byako with a determined expression. I accept to take your test, Byako-sama, however I must say that it is not the time nor the place for a test. This is a party to celebrate my teammate taking his place as a clan head and daimyo. Let us not spoil the event with a battle. Byako growled as he glared at Sasuke, but to the white tiger's hidden joy, he didn't see fear in Sasuke's eyes, only the truth of his conviction. Byako nodded before saying, if you asked for the test to commence immediately, then you would have already failed. The situation was meant to test your character and mentality. I was expecting you to insist on taking the test right now without considering the situation. Congratulations, Cub, you aren't an Avenger anymore, seeking only power for your own sake. I shall approach you for the test in the future. Sasuke nodded, thank you for the opportunity, Byako-sama. Byako gave a dismissive nod to Sasuke before turning to Madame Shijimi. Thank you for putting up with my antics for the past 20 years. It is regretful that I didn't reveal myself to you, but if my presence had gotten out, your life would have been in danger from ninja looking to prove themselves worthy of the contract. Please forgive me for the subterfuge. You are a caring and noble caretaker. Now my time to leave has come. Thank you for honoring me and my residence with your presence, Byako-sama. It is sad that you have to leave, but I understand your reason. Madame Shijimi said with a bow. Byako nodded before vanishing in a puff of smoke. Nothing is simple around you, is it, Naruto-kun? Hiruzen said with a chuckle, causing the others to chuckle as well. What can I say, Gigi? Even the gods are drawn to my magnetic presence, Naruto said with a joking grin just before a metallic clang was heard. Hiruzen looked down to see a senbone covered in poison lying on the grass after striking Naruto's cloak. At the same time the Taki representative fell onto the ground, paralyzed, with seal markings forming on his face and visible portions of his arms. I was wondering when he would try to assassinate me, Naruto said with nonchalance while the others were still processing what happened. When everyone finally processed what happened, Hiruzen turned with anger in his eyes. Glaring at the fallen Taki representative he shouted out, Kakashi, guy. Take that man to Tandi and hand him over to Ibiki and Onko. Ibiki, you two have full reign to get all the information they can out of him. Any way you can. Hiruzen, what do we do with Taki? They had the audacity to try and assassinate Naruto-sama. I think that we need to show them what happens when they attack Konoha unprovoked, Danzo said with all the assembled Konoha ninja nodding in agreement. I want you to make sure that Taki is completely wiped out, Hiruzen. I will inform Hideyoshi-sama of this. He will support this, as will the Council of Daimyo. Madame Shijimi said with anger clearly visible on her face. All of you are overreacting. Besides, I doubt is truly a Taki ninja. After all, this is an old friend wearing a false face. Naruto said as he walked towards the fallen ninja. Kneeling down, Naruto focused a bit of killing intent on the man as he placed a hand on the man's face before ripping it away. Under the false face, the face of a Nukenin from Konoha was seen. Tsume growled out in anger, Mizuki. How did he escape prison? Hokage-sama. Hokage-sama. It is terrible. Mizuki has escaped. An Anbu appeared amidst the group before he suddenly shouted out in pain as lightning flew over his body. The Anbu commander sighed in annoyance as Naruto placed the key tag on the man, causing his suffering to end. Sitting up, he nodded to Naruto before trying to speak up again when he saw Mizuki held in Kakashi and Guy's arms. How did he get captured already? The Anbu asked in shock. Of all the incompetent morons, they sent you with the message. I need to arrange a general assembly of all the Anbus soon. The Anbu commander sighed as Shikaku patted the man on his back. Rat. Why did you breach the Uzumaki compound barrier? Didn't you read the memo? What memo, sir? Growling, the Anbu commander said, the memo that stated that anyone breaching the Uzumaki clan compound barrier would be in for a world of pain. If the key wasn't applied this quickly, you would have been dead, moron. Calm down. You are supposed to retire at the end of this month. Besides, no harm was done. Plus this will serve as a lesson for all, Hiruzen said with a grin. Turning to Rat, Hiruzen asked, report. Quickly getting on his feet, Rat bowed. About 5 minutes ago, I went down to take Mizuki his lunch when I came across Crane with her throat slit and Mizuki's cell empty. After alerting the command to the situation, I came to notify you and the commander of the situation, sir. And what of the investigation? Who leads it now? Inoiki asked with a frown. Turtle from Team Gamma and Mitarashi Anko, sir. Go and tell Anko to hand over the investigation to Turtle. I need her to investigate something else. Inoiki, I would like you to replace Anko in interrogating Mizuki. As you wish, Hokage-sama, but may I ask why? All civilians and foreign dignitaries clear the area. Forgive me for breaking up this party, but as you can see, the situation has become dire. Janan other than Naruto-kun leave as well. No, let the Janan stay. If you keep sheltering us, how are we to learn? Naruto said with a stoic expression. Hiruzen looked surprised at Naruto's proclamation but nodded in agreement. You are right, Naruto-kun. Janan stay. After the compound was cleared of all civilians other than Madame Shijimi and Kana and the foreign dignitaries, Naruto led the group of elders, clan heads, Anbu commander, the Janan, their sensei, the Hokage and Madame Shijimi and Kana to the formal sitting room. After everyone was situated and Naruto had a few clones serve refreshments, Hiruzen stood up and started pacing. Are you going to tell us what the matter is, Jigi, or are you going to keep pacing? Naruto asked with annoyance after a few minutes. Hiruzen stopped in his pacing as he sighed. The false face that Mizuki was wearing was a technique my former student Orochimaru had created. No one but him knew how to do it. Not even his former student Anko. Everyone knows that Mizuki was caught trying to steal the forbidden scroll of seals. No one but myself, Iruka-kun, Naruto-kun, Sakura-chan and Ibiki knows that Mizuki was Orochimaru's henchman. When Naruto-kun and Sakura-chan took him down last time, he had used some kind of drug that Orochimaru had given him. The drug temporarily mutated Mizuki and gave him immense strength and speed. At that time, I just thought that Mizuki had gotten in contact with Orochimaru outside Konoha. Now you believe that it was Orochimaru who freed and sent him? You believe that he is still around? Naruto stated as he closed his eyes and concentrated. Orange eye shadow formed around his eyes for a moment before fading as Naruto opened his eyes. There aren't anyone in Konoha who has the required level of chakra to be Orochimaru. He must have another agent hidden amongst us. I would think it wise to assume that as well. Probably assume that there are more than one agent. Aburame Shibi said, getting a nod from all the seasoned ninja. Then we need to find them and eliminate them as soon as possible. No, we shouldn't eliminate them, Hiroshi-sama. We should tag them and start giving them misinformation. Orochimaru wouldn't be alerted that his spies has been caught and we can take advantage of Orochimaru's arrogance, Sakura said, getting a nod of approval from some of the elder ninja. That is a good idea, Haruno-san. For your age, you have quite the strategic mind, Koharu said with a proud grin. Why take the chance of them figuring it out? Kana asked with curiosity. Simple really, when they discover the subterfuge, we end them. The Uzumaki has a seal that is undetectable and can be keyed to a single person. I will key the seal to Gigi and when their usefulness has ended, he can quietly dispose of them. The seal will cause their hearts to suddenly stop, as if they had a heart stroke, Naruto stated with a vicious grin. Kana nodded in understanding. Then they won't be a risk at all? No, they won't. How are you going to place the seal without them knowing, Naruto-kun? Naruto grinned. Simple, Jijiya. We invite the idiots to my training sessions and hide the seal within the restriction seals that will be mandatory for every participant to have. What training sessions do you mean, Naruto-sama? Kurenai asked with confusion. Oh right, you weren't there. I was planning to teach a handful of Jonin, Anbu and Jinan the ways of elemental ninju. An experiment of mine and the Hokage that Hideyoshi Gigi approves. I plan to use that as a cover. But first we have to find them, Naruto. Don't get ahead of yourself, Sasuke said with a frown. I am sure that the Anbu can find them. If it takes too long, I will join myself. Their malicious intent won't remain hidden from my sensory abilities. Everyone looked surprised at that declaration. No one realized that Naruto's ability to feel emotions could be used like that. That's a unique use of your sensory abilities, but I digress. We should let the Anbu handle the situation. I am sure that they can find them within the month. Besides, if you keep doing their job, they would become lazy, Hiruzen said with a grin at Shikaku. Naruto stood in the middle of the large field on Training Ground 43. All around him were his present students. Some of them wearing Anbu uniform but without the masks. Others were normal Jonin, with a couple of Dokubetsu Jonin and Chunin thrown in. Finally, behind him were the chosen Jinan teams, Teams 7, 8, 9, 10 and a newly instated Jinan Sai. All of the assembled ninja were looking confused. Most of the seasoned ninja were ordered by the Hokage to be here. The Jinan were brought by their sensei. The only ones without the slightest hint of knowledge were the Anbu, Tokubetsu Jonin and Sai. So why are we all here? A Tokubetsu Jonin wearing a bandana and chewing a senbon asked in confusion. Naruto's eyes narrowed along with Kakashi's. Guys, Asuma's and the brown-haired Anbu Yamato. Wait a moment, Genma. Hokage-sama is supposed to give a speech to explain why we were called here, Anko said with chewing on a stick of dango. Do you know anything, Kurenai? I do, but you have to wait for Hokage-sama, Anko, Kurenai said with a grin, causing the purple-haired snake mistress to huff in annoyance. Before she could start pestering the Genjutsu mistress, the Hokage appeared beside Naruto in a puff of smoke. Ah, all of you are already here. Good. Now many of you are wondering why you are here, correct? Hiruzen asked, getting nods from the assembled crowd. With a nod, Hiruzen continued, as you all know, Naruto-kun here has learned the lost art of elemental ninju used by the Rikudo Sennin and the first Shinobi. He has been gracious enough to offer the knowledge to selected members of Konoha. You are the chosen ones. I and Naruto-kun went through all of your files and psychological analysis reports to choose the ones with the best chance to quickly learn the skills. Well, that excludes the Genin. But they were chosen for other reasons. Know this, all of you should feel highly honored to be selected for this. Naruto-kun has decided to make Ninshu and Uzumaki clan art. All of are being taught it with the belief that it would strengthen Konoha, but also with the belief that you won't teach the art without the permission of the present Uzumaki clan head. I, myself will be joining all of you in this, specializing in fire. Any questions? The assembled crowd looked around before a female Anbu hesitantly spoke up. Hokage-sama, are we going to be free to choose our elements, or have they already been chosen? That is a good question. Sorry to say, we don't have a choice in elements. It is connected to our personality. At least that is what I have come to understand from how Naruto-kun and Gamamaru-sama explained elemental Ninshu, Hiruzen said, causing the Anbu to nod in understanding. Hopefully, your personality will match the element you want. Very few have the personality traits to have access to more than one, Naruto said with a sad frown. Can we learn an element outside the one our personality allows? Ibiki asked with curiosity. I am doing all 4 elements. Do you think I have such a colorful character? Naruto said with a laugh, causing Ibiki to shake his head in amusement. My elements are air, earth, and water. Granted, I have 3 out of 4, but that is something very rare. I have to work 4 times harder to master fire. Thanks to my liberal use of Kage Bunshin, I am able to handle the training. Mastering your own element may take years depending on your natural ability to connect to the element. So you can understand how difficult it must be to learn an element that isn't your own. Besides, I am a Senin. I can easily connect with nature, which includes all the elements. How many Kage Bunshin do you use, Naruto? Can we use it for our training? Ino asked with excitement. I use about 2,000 to 3,000 clones at most. Any more and Kurama won't be able to heal the strain. Even Jiji can't create more than 30 clones without fainting from chakra exhaustion. Even then he won't be able to use more than 10 to train, or the memory feedback will kill him. What do you mean, Naruto? How can a clone return its experience back to you? Shikamaru asked with a frown. Around the clearing, all the assembled shinobi above Genin level and Sai frowned at the revelation. Hiruzen sighed before explaining, let me explain, Naruto-kun. The Kage Bunshin was created by the Nidaime to be a tool for espionage. It was termed a Kinjutsu for the chakra requirement and the memory feedback. The Kage Bunshin has a small portion of the creator's essence within them. When the clone dispels, the essence returns to the creator with the experience. The experience is anything related to memory, both active and passive. Other than this I won't explain more. What do you mean by passive memory? Kiba asked with confusion. Muscle memory, Kiba. Something we don't think about. Instincts are also passive memory. Ino explained in an offhanded comment. So can we use it to train? Kiba asked with excitement. Sorry, but the Kage Bunshin training is inaccessible to anyone under high A rank chakra reserves. That would exclude everyone other than Kakashi, Guy, and Yamato, Hiruzen said with a stern expression, causing nearly everyone to nod with sad acceptance. Now be ready, find out your elements. Place a drop of blood on this seal that Gamamaru-sensei and I created. Naruto said as he unsealed a massive stone plate with the 4 elemental symbols engraved at cardinal points. A large Fuinjutsu Shiki was visible in the middle of the plate with thin lines connecting to the elemental symbols. Why are there 4 elemental symbols? Sai asked with confusion. Because in nature, there are only 4 elements. Other are just a variation of a primary element. Take lightning for example. It is just a variation of fire. Naruto explained with a grin. Then there are the elemental Kekai Genkai like Hyoton. It is considered a merging of Futon and Suton. In Ninshu, it is underwater. Sai nodded in understanding when Shikamaru inquired, does it work similar to chakra paper? And are we going to be able to use Kekai Genkai? The tablet doesn't work similar to chakra litmus. It tests the blood for the elemental affiliation. Our personalities are connected to a certain degree to genetics. Each family has a certain common personality traits. The seal checks the personality traits through genetics to show your element. Now to answer your second question, that depends on your mastery. If you are a waterbender, with proper mastery you can manipulate ice, transform water to ice or vice versa. Ninshu is the art of connecting, understanding and bending the elements to your will. I see. That's interesting, so what do you think my element will be? Shikamaru asked, getting a chuckle from Naruto. Water. You are lazy, but can go with the flow when motivated. Shikamaru nodded but grumbled of irritating happy-go-lucky blondes. Alright everyone, line up. Genin wait at the side. Let the seasoned ninja find their elements first, Naruto said with a grin, causing the Genin to mumble. Hiruzen walked forward. Let me demonstrate the use. Hiruzen bit his thumb before letting a drop of blood fall onto the seal. The blood was absorbed before the fire symbol glowed with red light. As you can see, it is very easy to use. Don't channel any chakra into the blood. It will mess with the results. Jonin Sensei first. One after other the 4 Jonin Sensei walked forward with Kakashi leading the group. Each of the sensei dropped blood and got their result. Kakashi had the water and fire symbols glow. Kurenai had water. Guy's blood caused the air and earth symbols to glow, while Asuma's was earth. Good. Next up the Anbu, Naruto said as the Jonin Sensei retreated. Guy hesitated before walking to stand beside Naruto. Can I help you Guy Sensei? Why is Lee here Naruto-kun? He can't use chakra outside his body. That's alright. He won't need to use chakra outside his body. Ninju requires the user to internally manipulate their chakra to forge a connection with the elements. The rest is up to his will to bend the element. Guy nodded with a grin as most of the Anbu had finished their checks. Hello Naruto-kun. Naruto nodded with a smile at Yugao as she placed a drop of blood on the plate. The water symbol glowed in response. Yugao nodded with a satisfied smile. I expected it to be water. Hope you are as good a teacher as you are a shinobi. Yamato was the final Anbu to come up. He placed his blood on the seal causing the earth symbol to glow. Alright now the Dokubutsu Jonin please. Naruto called out causing Anko to saunter up with a grin. Placing her blood on the plate caused the air and fire symbols to glow. Ah! Look at that! Air and fire! Naruto just shook his head in exasperation. It had to be the 2 most destructive elements that Anko had. After Anko, Ibiki came up. He turned out to be fire. Following him was Genma with fire as well. Finally Hayate was found to have water. Chunin up next, Naruto said with a foxy grin directed to the 3 Chunin present. I don't know why you chose me Naruto. It's not like I am going out on missions, Iruka said with a grin as he tested himself. To his surprise, he came out with Earth. Earth huh? That truly suits you Iruka-sensei, Naruto said as Izumo tested himself. Air huh? That's why you can't sit still Izumo, Kotetsu said with a teasing grin as he tested himself only to come out with fire. That's good guys. Your elements complement each other. As the first line of defense, that is very good, Naruto said with a laugh getting laughs from everyone present. Now Iruka-sensei, you asked why I chose you. That's because you're going to start the academy students on the basics of ninju from the next semester. How can you teach something you don't know? What do you mean Naruto? Iruka asked with a frown. I was given authority to restructure the academy curriculum. You will get the revised curriculum in a week. I decided to include the basics of ninju as a class while reducing the amount of history we have to study. I am also including a special course in aerial jutsu and fuinjutsu. I am also reinstating the portions of history the civilian council had removed. Iruka looked surprised but nodded in agreement. Finally, I can send my students off without fear of their imminent deaths Iruka said with a grin. Meet me tomorrow at Ichiraku's for lunch. We need to discuss something about the curriculum. Iruka nodded as Naruto turned to the rest. Alright now everyone follow one of my clones. Each of them are going to focus on a single element. Those with multiple elements, choose one and follow the designated clone. Everyone nodded and chose to follow the clone designated with their element. Now Jinan. Most of you don't have the chakra reserves and control to be able to connect to the elements yet, neither do you understand your element or elements as the case may be for some of you. What do you mean Naruto? Ino asked with anger. Are you saying that we are weak? Truthfully, at the moment all of the Jinan excluding Team 9, Sakura and Sai are weak. Most of you are barely Jinan level. Either due to laziness or due to poor teaching or due to no initiative on your own part. Sasuke is near high Jinan, so technically he should be able to connect to his element, but his control isn't ready. Other one is Lee. While he can use chakra externally, he doesn't need to. He has enough training for the control needed to link with his element. What do you mean Naruto-sama? Lee is the Dobi, granted he has trained himself to monstrous proportions, but he is still the loser. He is fated to always remain a loser. Neji arrogantly declared with a glare. Wow. That was my future if I kept on the path of the Avenger, wasn't it Naruto? Sasuke asked with an infuriating smirk directed at Neji. Be silent oh great last loyal Uchiha. Go and make comments to your dead clan. Neji snarled in anger but before he could continue, he started choking. Clutching his throat, Neji desperately tried to draw in a breath. Everyone watched confused at first before Sakura's eyes widened in realization. Sakura turned to Naruto and saw the boy's hand raised at Neji. His hand was as if clutching a throat. Before the girl could say anything, Naruto spoke up, "That is but a small portion of the power I am going to teach you. It is more powerful than ninjutsu in the hands of a true master. Telekinesis is a sub-art of airbending. With a simple application of thought, a master airbender can kill you. Does your eyes protect you, Neji?" Naruto dropped his hand, causing Neji to drop to his knees, desperately drawing in air into his lungs. "Well, Neji, I am waiting." Neji looked up to see the cold blue eyes of Naruto staring into his pale lavender ones. Shakily standing up, he glared at the blonde in defiance. "I didn't even have the Byakugan active. How is it supposed to protect me if it isn't active?" "That's your comeback? The Byakugan wasn't active," Naruto taunted, causing Neji to grit his teeth in anger. "You are blinder than I thought. Be gone from my sight. You are hereby dismissed from ninjutsu training." Naruto-sama, don't take his words to heart. Neji Niazan has had a badly life. Please forgive him. Hinata requested with a formal bow. Neji snarled at Hinata but kept quiet. "Do you think that he is the only one who suffered? Then what about us Jinchuriki and war orphans? What about Sasuke? What about Lee?" Naruto asked with a cold tone. Neji had a family to be there for him. He had a heritage to be proud of. He has access to his chakra. First two, I didn't have growing up. The last, Lee doesn't have. Sasuke had the three, but lost the first. To his own blood as well. Tell me, why I should care for an arrogant team?" Hinata kept her head bowed and listened to what Naruto said. It was true, she had to admit. Neji wasn't the only one to suffer. We shouldn't let our past dictate our actions in the present. Sasuke used to let the past direct him. He changed in a very small amount of time. I gave Neji a chance to change. He decided to spit upon the chance when he befouled the dead. He forgot that it wasn't only Sasuke who had lost his clan. So had I. I may have not known my clan like Sasuke had, but their loss is still painful. How would Neji feel if we befouled his parents? You wouldn't dare. Neji snarled, clutching his fists as veins became visible on his face. Unlike you, I wouldn't insult the dead, even those who were traitors and enemies. Pain and suffering are just part of life. Without them we wouldn't understand pleasure and happiness. It doesn't give us the right to belittle others and their heritage. Naruto-kun, I know that Neji can be unyouthful, but please give him a second chance. I promise that he can change, Lee exclaimed with a bow. Look at them, Neji. You belittle them, yet they protect you. You who thinks himself as strong, is in fact the weakest amongst us. I shall give you a second chance if you can survive one of my weaker attacks. You can use anything in your arsenal for the objective. Everyone looked surprised at Naruto's proposition. Neji gained a smirk as he stared at Naruto with his Byakugan. I accept your proposal, Naruto-sama, Neji said with a mocking bow. Good, now don't blink everyone, Naruto exclaimed as he snapped his fingers. At the same time, Neji suddenly collapsed in a faint. Everyone looked startled at the event. Did you use his Aganjutsu, Naruto? Shikamaru asked with confusion. And no, he didn't. That there were no visible attacks made. Naruto-sama's chakra SP spiked at the snap of his five-finger, then Neji Niazan fainted, Hinata exclaimed to the shock of everyone. Kiba and Ino were the first to react. What did you use? Advanced airbending, Naruto said with foxy grin, causing nearly everyone to groan out in annoyance. Only Sai and Sakura kept quiet. Sakura, I struck the pressure point on his neck to induce a death-like state. I think it best that you drop him off at the Hyuga compound and tell Hiyashi-san that I will be coming to explain the situation with Neji this evening. Sakura nodded as she picked up Neji and vanished in a sunshine. Don't worry, Hinata, Lee. I will allow Neji to learn ninjutsu if he still wants to. Finally, Sai. I will be testing you on your present skills. The rest, follow this clone. A clone formed beside Naruto and was about to lead everyone other than Sai away when the pale-skinned Jinan asked with an emotionless tone, What did you really do, Naruto-sama? Was it similar to how you choked Neji? Naruto nodded, that's right, Sai. I used telekinesis to manipulate the air particles around his neck into an invisible senbone. From there, it was easy to prick the pressure point. Then shouldn't Hinata-sama been able to see the senbone? Byakugan, Sharingan, any dojutsu really only sees chakra. Ninjutsu doesn't need the element to be infused with chakra. The internal manipulation of chakra is the maximum involvement that happens to forge the link with the element. The rest is manipulating the element by using our will. Can you see air, Sai? No, we can't, Naruto-sama. So does that mean no one can sense the attacks from ninjutsu? Not quite Sai. Any sage should be able to feel the flow of natural energy that happens when an element is bended. Other than that, no normal sensor can sense a ninja attack. Although instinct can save you from an attack, if honed enough. That's the reason I am having our fellow Jinan go through physical training first. Most bending skills are strongly connected to unique taijutsu styles. I am going to have Gai-sensei help me and Gamamaru-sensei in developing the completed styles for each element. Then the advantage of ninja is that it can be used in all ranges? That's right, Sai. Now let's head to Ichiraku for some lunch. All of you follow me as well. I will foot the bill. You will all need the energy for the physical. I shouldn't have tried to send you to training without the food, Naruto said, getting a groan from Ino and Tenten. Great, the slave driver is awakening in him again. Better get your fill, guys, you will need it. I can guarantee it, Sasuke said, causing most of the Genin's faces to pale in realization. Naruto, does it have to be ramen? Actually, ramen is good just before heavy training, Choji said as he placed his empty packet of potato chips in his pocket. It is rich in carbohydrates and with proper vegetables, fish and meat added, it is quite healthy to have. Naruto beamed in happiness just before Choji said, but the oil is unhealthy, so trying to survive on ramen alone is not wise. Naruto's shoulders fell, but he quickly perked up and said, "Hey Choji, can you convince Sakura-chan to increase my weekly quota of ramen? She barely lets me eat 5 bowls a week." "No thank you. I want to live. There is no way I am going against a medic's proclamation," Choji said with a grin, causing Naruto to grumble before turning around and leaving the field. "Hey Tsuchijiji, Ayame Nizan, get ready to cook a feast. I brought friends," Naruto said as he took a seat on one of the stools. "Hello Naruto-kun and friends. Please sit down. I will be taking your orders as soon as I find that pesky notepad. Dad seems to have misplaced it again," Ayame said with a grin. "No, I didn't. It should be under the counter. Hello Naruto-kun. The usual? Hey wait, you aren't trying to dismiss Sakura-chan's orders, are you?" Tucci said with a suspicious look as he surveyed the gathered crowd for the pink-haired Ryonin. "Not at all. I still have my 5 bowls for this week," Naruto said with a grin. "Alright, but if you don't tell Sakura-chan about this little outing, I will ban you for the next month. I want my stall standing, thank you." "No need to fear, Tucci-san. I am already here. Guys, place your orders and let's head back to training," Sakura said as she looked at Ayame. "The usual, Ayame-san. An Ichiraku special veggie ramen coming up along with 5 bowls of Naruto special. What will the rest of you have?" "What is this Naruto special?" Ino asked with curiosity. "That is the healthiest ramen for heavy training ninja we created for Naruto-kun some time ago. It contains the perfect balance of carbohydrates, proteins and vegetables. I can guarantee that you won't gain weight if you work out." With that declaration, all of the assembled Jinan started giving different amounts of the Naruto special. After giving his order last, Kiba asked, "Why is it called Naruto special?" "That's because he is our best customer and the record holder for eating the most bowls at one sitting as well, 40 large bowls to be exact." "How is that possible?" Ino muttered to herself as she waited for her order. That's it for this video. I hope you all enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and follow me on my other social media accounts. Anime God here, and I'm signing off.